Are you looking to understand the 2025 economic forecast better? Join us for our biannual fall economic webcast on November 14th and get the visibility you need to take action for the new year. Join us and Construct Connect, who will partner with the AGC and AIA to bring you insights from the industry's most trusted construction economists. This is a free online webcast and you can register today. The event is also registered with the AIA for continuing professional education credits. Register today at http://bit.ly/economic webcast. Again, that's http://bit.ly economic webcast, and that address will also be in the show notes. BuildX Alberta 2024 is coming to the new BMO Centre at Stampede Park in Calgary, Alberta. Celebrate BuildX's 25th anniversary in Alberta on October 23rd and 24th with the biggest conference in the province covering architecture, engineering, interior design, home building, and renovation and property management. Check out the speakers, education sessions, and a trade show floor featuring a workforce solutions center and a smart sustainable tech showcase. To register, go to informaconnect.com/buildx-alberta and click register now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and with me today I have
Caroline Gumble, Chief Executive of the Chartered Institute of Building.
and that's where I'd like to start. What is the Chartered Institute of Building? What's your focus?
Okay, well, first of all, the Chartered Institute of Building has been around now for 190 years. It was our anniversary this year. And we stand for the science, ethics, and practice of the built environment across the world. So we choose to do that through a membership structure. We have over 50,000 members worldwide, and we actually have around 350 over there in Canada with yourselves. We are the largest, most influential professional body for the construction management and leadership in the world. So how about that?
It's pretty impressive. And the organization I work for is only 114 years old, so you got us beat.
There you go.
But Canada, to be fair, is a lot younger than Britain, so there is that.
Sure.
I guess I'd start with one of the things you're focusing on is EDI in the construction center. I've done some pretty extensive reporting on it here and a bit in the States, but not that much in the UK. So maybe we could start with that, and then we could contrast the differences, if there are any, between the three countries.
Yeah, okay. Well, when you say EDI, it's there. It's a real big focus. And the reason for that focus is we haven't got enough skills, first of all, across the construction industry in the world. So it's a very common problem. I came across to Toronto a couple of years ago, and all I heard that every visit I went on was skills, skills, skills. So first of all, there is an issue. We do not have enough good people in the industry at the moment. But I just put this for you to think about. The construction industry constructs our lives. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Everything that we do in the world is around an infrastructure, whether it's a walkway, whether it's a shopping centre, a hospital, whether it's a school, whether it's your home. So we build for society, for humans, for real people. And to only do that with men, for example, that just doesn't seem to be sensible, because things get missed. People have mobility problems. So we want people with mobility issues themselves to come into the construction sector to help us make it better for everybody. We know that if you have a workforce where you've only got one type of person, whatever they are, whoever they are, then it's a very sad place to work, because you haven't got that diversity of thought. And we know the construction industry often does suffer with high suicide rates, high stress rates. But if you have a diverse workforce, we do know that people tend to behave differently. They share their problems with each other more. And it does make the workplace a much more productive. And certainly there's research that shows if you have a diverse workforce, it absolutely hits the bottom line. That's a fact.
And you've been studying this for, I would assume, quite some time now. So have you seen? I know in Canada we have a little, not enough, frankly, but we've had a little progress, and especially in terms of women joining and racialized minorities joining the workforce. But it's getting there, but it's not there yet. Have you seen progress in UK and the United States, and have, like, contrasting the different ones? What have you seen in terms of, or are there fallbacks as it kind of
Yeah.
slipped backwards?
Let me just say, unfortunately, there isn't a huge contrast between the countries
Hmm.
you've just mentioned. So, according to the Canadian Association of Women in Construction,
Hmm.
women make up approximately 5% of construction workers on site and 12% of the entire workforce. Now, contrast that with the UK. The figures here are around 2% on site roles, so less than in Canada, but 18% across the workforce. And we do know from working with the US based organization Tradeswomen Building Bridges, a fantastic organization, that we can increase numbers of women coming into this sector. In recent years, their work has contributed to getting the number of on site roles in the USA to around 10%. So they
Okay.
really are outperforming. And that's because they've been campaigning, they've been targeting support from unions and employers. So it just shows if you put your mind to it, you can change those numbers.
And just in terms of, you've also mentioned in a previous email or back and forth about this, professionalize the construction sector. Can you explain what that means and how it would affect the sector itself?
Yeah, well, professionalizing any industry is really, really important. I'll give you an example. If you went to your GP and your GP said, "Yeah, sure, I was trained 10 years ago, but I haven't actually kept my skills up to date," you'd soon run out of that doctor's surgery.
Hmm.
It's no different with the construction industry. So for us, you can't just become a member of an organization such as CIOB, the Chartered Institute of Building. You have to first of all prove your competence at different levels. We've got different grades for different levels, but basically they usually sit around the sort of degree level, okay? But on top of that, our members sign a code of ethics. So they're signing up to actually commit to practicing high quality and with integrity and to treat people with dignity in the workplace. On
Hmm.
top of that, they are committing every year to have continuous professional development. And we do audit that. And we also, unfortunately, do lose members if we get reports of unethical behavior.
Hmm.
It goes before a professional body made up of other members, and we will release members if we do not think they maintain the professional standards. So it's a very serious thing for us.
This kind of leads me to my next question, which is recruiting for the skilled trades and the labor shortage. I would assume, since it's mostly a demographic problem, it's the same in the UK as it is here in Canada, where we've got a pile of retirements coming real soon and not enough young people to kind of get into that role, or even older people, but not quite retirement age.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's exactly the same. And unfortunately, it is a societal problem in the
Hmm.
perception. I think parents, teachers, even the young people themselves really do not understand the range of opportunities we have in this industry. I mean, for CIOB, we've got over 90 different job roles, all the way from design, architecture, all the way to demolition and
Hmm.
reuse. It's going green. So many of our members are working on retrofit, modern methods of construction. Some of the buildings now are actually manufactured in big factories. Um, AI is another part of it. So project management, there's so many different exciting roles and it pays well.
Hmm.
So I really do encourage, if there's any parents listening to this to start with, that you do encourage your young people to think about it as a very credible career.
Yeah, at least here, I mean, not as much as there used to be, but there's still a stigma attached to the trades, which, you're supposed to go to university and get a quote unquote, like you said, professional job, but that it seems to have kind of gone out the window, at least in practical terms, if not mental space terms.
Yeah, I agree. But the good thing with the construction industry, we very much encourage people with life skills
Hmm.
to come across at any time in their careers, because their life skills will really position them well for working in this industry. We can give them the other skills, but if they've got good communication skills, they're prepared to work hard and are reliable, will have integrity, there will be a role somewhere within this industry for them, guaranteed.
And I think this goes right back to the original question about EDI. There's a workforce that isn't being tapped. And I don't know if it's a total solution to this ongoing demographic thing, but it's part of one. Or at least you tell me if you think you agree.
Yeah, no, I do agree, but I do think sometimes employers have got bias
Hmm.
sometimes. They think this type of person couldn't work here. They put up barriers.
Hmm.
So we very much, certainly in the UK now, encourage blind CVs. That's where
Mm.
you don't have any personal data about the candidate at all. And it's just old thoughts, old
Hmm. Hmm.
practices, old thinking, and they have to, if they want to build what we need them to build in a good way, they have to think about different types of ways of working, also flexible working. Flexible working is not bad.
Hmm.
You can get great productivity from somebody who maybe work 4 days a week instead of five, for example. There's so many different jobs where they can be sometimes on site, sometimes in an office, or sometimes working from home.
Hmm.
COVID certainly taught us that. So I think it's a case of saying to employers, think differently. Don't put the barriers up. Talk to different types of people, go and meet them and have conversations to look at how you can make something work rather than dismiss the concept in the first place.
And finally, I just say, if people are listening and are interested, where would they go to find out more about the CIOB?
Okay, www.ciob.org.
Okay, thanks for joining us today, Caroline.
Great pleasure, Warren. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Construction Record Podcast. You can hear us on Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify, as well as at theconstructionrecord.libsyn.com and on the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks again for listening.